We often see ourselves as being at the pinnacle of human technology, as having gone further than any have gone before, as the apex of human ingenuity. But the facts of the matter could not be further from the truth. Greetings, mortals. I'm your host, Simon. Welcome back to the Library of Gnosis. Ancient Egypt contains many mysteries that have confounded the modern man. From the Great Pyramids to the Sphinx, many questions remain unanswered. One of the most interesting enigmas is how these great structures were built. What technology was used? This is what I'm going to be examining today. Littered around the Giza Plateau are stones with strange circular holes. Some stones as hard as granite, being rated at a 7 on Mohs hardness scale. For comparison, copper is rated at 3 on this scale, which is the only metal modern Egyptology tells us that the ancients had at the time. These circular holes appear to be cuts made by circular tube saws. How do we know? Well, that is easy. In conjunction with these holes are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of drill cores matching the material cut. Okay, it is strange enough that the ancient people living in Egypt managed to cut a material we now, in the modern day, need diamond-tipped saws to penetrate. But what is even stranger is the speed at which it was done. By examining the grooves on the granite drill cores, we get our next clue to this mystery. Modern Egyptologists tell us that they used sand and water to slowly and laboriously, quote, grind their way into the rock at a staggering speed.
Sand inside the groove, and we're going to put this saw on top of the sand and then let the sand do the cutting. All that needs to be done is to move the saw backwards and forwards in a nice steady motion.
You don't want to lift it up and get those grains in there?
No, they'll work themselves in as it goes.
Yellow?
Okay. Yeah. That's it. Now the stone weights at each end of the saw are putting the load onto the sand and causes the cutting. The crystal is forced to score a groove in the stone.
So the copper is only guiding the sand's doing the cutting.
Right.
Now, Dennis, will we see any progress in our lifetime?
Yes, if you came back in an hour's time, you would see about a 4 millimeter cut down into the stone.
You're kidding. In an hour, you'll be 4 millimeters down?
Well, I've been doing a lot of experiments, and I can guarantee that this will cut through the stone at about 4 millimeters an hour.
Uncompleted works show the telltale signs of other tools.
8 inches.
Wide and deep drill holes. More striations surround the missing core. Dennis thinks he can recreate these too.
Well, it's pretty easy, Mark.
Yeah, for the first few seconds, no problem. 8 hours into it, I could see being a little sore.
Now, I know we're speaking of an ancient society that has been around for thousands of years, but there is not enough time in the lifespan of the galaxy to have cut all the granite objects that litter the Giza Plateau. Luckily for us, by examining the grooves of the drill cores that have been found, we can extract the speed at which the tube drills penetrated the granite. If the stone was drilled using a similar method to this, then the grooves on the drill cores would be vertical due to the slow speed of penetration. But this is not what we find. By examining the drill cores, we can see that the grooves are not vertical, but slanted. This means that the drill was not stuck in one place, slowly penetrating the rock, but eating through the rock at a tremendous speed, not staying put, but slicing through the rock at a high velocity. At a velocity unmatched even by our modern tipped diamond drills. The penetration speed that can be extracted from the incline of the grooves tell us that the drills penetrated the rock 500 times faster than our modern power tools ever could. Now, explain to me how a society that supposedly only had copper tools at their disposal could achieve this feat of engineering. Even if they used diamond-tipped copper drills, the copper would buck and disform under the immense heat and pressure produced. Just another one of those silly coincidences modern academia so adamantly decides to ignore. So, what do you think? Was there once a society that surpassed our modern world in its technology? Thank you for listening. See you next time, mortal. Remember to hit that bell button to stay notified. Subscribe for more Red Pill content. Do give it a like if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share it. If you want to support my work, you can find me on Patreon at Library of Gnosis. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, and Bitchute at Library of Gnosis. The audio versions of my broadcasts are available on Spotify as a podcast at Library of Gnosis. Music is produced by Coda.